Today we've got grey skies, it's pretty gloomy, it's quite chilly and it's windy as well. So I've actually come up onto the coastal path here to the north of Via Hyosa to see if I can do something with that, maybe some kind of moody stuff. My first thought was some nice sort of wave action on the rocks, and there's definitely some waves sort of rolling in. But first, I've just spotted a scene here and I don't know, I think it might work. So I'm going to get the camera out and have a quick look at it. Hopefully this will be the first of several shots, I don't know. I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you do and you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe before you go. So the scene I've got in front of me is this sort of rocky bit that sticks out here. There's some grasses coming in from one side. There's a shrub on the top of there, which is blowing around in the wind. We've got the sea beyond, and then we've got a cloud pattern comes in, and that's kind of mirroring the shape of the land. And that's kind of what struck me. So I'm going to break the rule of thirds completely because I'm putting the horizon right away across the middle of the scene. And I'm going to want to keep a reasonably fast exposure because of the shrubs blowing around in the wind. So there it is, the land comes in from there, horizon across the middle, cloud pattern coming in. Let's get the exposure information up. There's 1/125th of a second at f11. So I think what we'll do is we'll come down to f8 because we don't need a massive amount of depth of field. And then we'll go, pull back till we're not blowing any highlights. Ooh, we might have to blend this one, I think, actually. Okay, 1/640th of a second. Let's go a bit brighter. Let's go 1/500th. That's going to blow highlights. I can see it there. If we have a look at that, it's blowing highlights in the sky. So what I'm going to do is do another one, and we'll go all the way down to, oh blimey, needs to go a long way down to clear those highlights. 1/3200th of a second. I think we'll have to do one in the middle as well. Let's do one at about 1,000th of a second. Then I'll blend those later. So when I came out today, I kind of had it in mind that I was going to play around with some long exposures, but that first image that I shot wouldn't have worked as a long exposure because of the shrubs and that moving around. I'm a believer, however, that if you see something, particularly if it's transitory like cloud patterns, you've got to shoot it when you see it. There's no point in thinking, oh, I'll come back for that, because it's probably going to be gone. I'm going to carry on walking and see if I can find something else to shoot. I'm sure I will. And maybe it will be a long exposure, I don't know. is one of the 16th century watchtowers. It's called the Torre de Aguilo. It's one of the square ones. Some of the watchtowers along the coast are circular, and some are square. And this one has also been restored rather than left as a ruin. And I'm never really sure which I prefer. I sometimes think I prefer the ruined ones. Got more character, but it's still nice to see up here. It's a bit windy up on this cliff top. I'm going to have a little look around here and then see what else I can find. So I'm actually standing at the moment on a hillside overlooking part of Benidorm, and I've played around with a couple of ideas on how to shoot this. I did think about shooting a pano, but there's a big unfinished building over to one side which I don't like. So I'm going to concentrate more on one area of it. Some of that unfinished building will still be in. And what I'm concentrating on is having the bushes in the foreground, and then the curve of the sea going around, and then the buildings in the background, and then there's like a big hill cliff top thing with a load more buildings on. And I think it might look quite nice. So that's the scene that I've got. I've got the waves going around here, buildings here. This is the unfinished building here, which is not the prettiest in the world, but it'll be okay. And at the moment I've got, well, it's actually a variable ND filter on that I've never used before. And I've got it at about 6 stops, a 1 second exposure, which is letting me get enough sort of motion blur in the waves. So this will almost certainly be cropped as a 16:9, maybe even 2:1, but probably 16:9 to take out some of the sky. Something a bit different. It's completely clouded in now. A few little gaps that we were seeing earlier have gone. So I think the chances of us getting anything at sunset are pretty slim. Probably just as well, because it took me a lot longer to get down to and back up from that viewpoint over the city than I thought. And it's only about 20-25 minutes until sunset, and I've got no idea what I would shoot. Nevertheless, I'll keep my eyes open on the way back and see what happens. Okay, it's now officially sunset, although there's no way you could tell it from the sky over there where the sun should be setting. It's completely clouded over and nothing else is going to happen tonight, so I'm just going to carry on. Got about half an hour back to the car and then home. Hopefully got a couple of very different images, different to each other and perhaps a little bit different to some of my normal stuff as well. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please give it a like, share it on social media, leave me a comment down below. If you've enjoyed the video and you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe before you go, and before the wind gusts across again. Oh no, it's getting windy again now. Try and get into a bit of shelter. No. Oh. Okay. Try and find some shelter for me to just say I really appreciate you taking the time to watch, so thank you very much, and until the next video, bye.